Real quick video, Israel giving all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakah Kadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, double honor to the apostle, elder bishops, great millstone. Much salutation to the brothers teaching word for the hopeful elect, soon to be the elect most high will. To the hopeful extended elect, shalom blessings. Getting right into it, you'll know a lot about a nation with when it comes to their diet, women, things that, they do and practice their customs. And that's a great thing that the Most High had against Israel, has been influencing doing what these heathens do. The practices and their customs, their rituals and all that. So, and our women, when they try to search for other men of other nations, search for men of other nations like, the Arab nation, Edomites, of course, that's been a go-to for them because their riches, whatever, who else? Elam is very rare that our women go to. Ham, very rare. Now they'll get with a wealthy West African, which is really Israelites over there. But main ones they go to is Moab and Ishmael, which is the Arabs. Moab, which is the Chinese. But right here you'll have a video where they eat cats in China. It's a known fact. And dogs. And snakes and all the other stuff. All the abominable foods, man. Now, people say, well, the Bible, Most High is not against. God doesn't hate people for what they eat. Is, and they mentioned the Peter thing, which they have no understanding of what that means. They have no understanding of the book, period. But, bottom feeders are not, biblical to eat. If you sit down and at a table, let's say you go to a black family and you're black yourself, so-called, you sit at a family and they bring out some jars of roaches, cooked roaches, you're going to be like, hell nah. Or cooked rats, you're going to be like, hell nah. But these people eat rats, cats, dogs, and all that. And this is a Chinese man preparing food. If you look at it, a cat being, this ain't no AI. It's kind of graphic. So if a Chinese person wanted one of our women and they said, well, let me take you a tour to China, because they do have a race law in China. But let me take you to a tour, and then, he take her through the streets. Now you can see the cats hanging up too, on this pole to be cooked. So it's kind of like a delicacy. But, he's going to the streets and he's like, yeah, this is my country, And then what is she going to think? What is she going to say? She going to eat cat with him? That's why a lot of these Chinese, when they get with black women, they have they tend to have, some of them might be Jake, a few of them might be Jake among that look like Chinese people, but they still take on the aura and try to take on the personality of Jake with the hat to the back, some swag or whatever, listen to hip hop, some kind of and And what would attribute of black culture to him, you know? And then, earrings in the ear and all that, you know, might be a break dancer. Then she's attracted to him. She's like, damn, you remind me of my people. But that could be all a fraud too. But there are some people among people in China. But that's what the Most High was keeping us separate from, and to keep us as a holy people, which means separate. It has to be a distinction between the children of Israel and the heathen, the children of Israel and the children of men, children of God and the children of men. And there's also the children of wicked. It has to be something different. They're going to have the different diets, different mannerisms, just like Esau and Jacob. They said of them that they have two different mannerisms. So you can't, go to China and be like, I want to live amongst the Chinese because I got a Chinese wife, or vice versa, a woman that got a Chinese husband, and then you go to their house, they're gonna be eating cat, rat, dog, and then if you say, well, this is nasty, man, they're gonna be like, oh, do you think we're nasty people? Get out of here, because this is the way we eat. Same thing with Ishmael. He's camel. That's forbidden in the scriptures, man. And I asked Google, I said, are cats forbidden to eat in the Bible? And that's a logical, common knowledge, should be common knowledge. Yes, according to the dietary laws in the Old Testament, felines are classified as unclean and are forbidden to eat. Why doesn't America have this on their menus? Rat, roaches, all these, anything could be consumed for food, especially when it comes to, animals, beasts, insects, and all that. But they're not on the menu. Now, some insects are, lawful to eat. I won't, creature, I don't know what I would call them, but yeah. Like the locusts, because John ate locusts and honey. I think even the beetle, because they're related to the locust family. It says the Old Testament law, Leviticus, it says God provides the Israelites with a strict list of clean and unclean animals. Animals categorized as unclean and unfit for food include felines, which encompasses domestic cats, lions, and tigers, as well as dogs, bears, and pigs. Who would think to eat a lion or a bear or a tiger anyway? Or a dog? But they eat dogs in China. So, the Dubai or whatever in the Arab world, they eat camel. So just like the same, if they married our women and our women went over there, or vice versa, you go over there, they take you a tour around, China, around Dubai, whatever you may be in these other countries where the heathen are ruling or have their people. And you be like, well, and then you might marry a Arab woman and you go over there in those Arab countries in those regions and you say, well, yeah, we don't eat camel. I don't eat camel. That's nasty. And then pretty much she gonna be like, well, yeah, just try it, And then Jake might be like, yeah, and then she prepare a meal and say, look, if you don't like it, you don't have, I'll leave you alone about it. Then you be like, well, yeah, I'll try a little bit, and then, it tastes like chicken, or it tastes like just like beef or whatever. Then you'll start like, oh, okay, so I don't mind eating it. And then, other things that you might, not even do in your own country or you never have among your own people, you'll start eating their food. just because you love this woman and you want to kind of connect with her in some kind of way, and that's what got us in trouble, man. You know, so that's one reason why the Most High said, lead them alone. But it wasn't, because we're able to have women of these other nations. It's just Jake, when he's in a weak state and he's not in his full power, he falls for these women and does compromising things for these women. He'll, reject his own heritage, and customs to go into their heritage and customs, so to speak. So, you know, it says the laws were given to Jacob. It says. Now, even going back to Genesis, going into Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, says, Genesis 10:1, now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, and Ham. Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and unto them were sons born after the flood. And it mentions them. So you have the earth bringing back forth men out of these people. So it mentions the Africans, Ham, Cush, Mizraim, Egypt, another word for Egypt, Put, and Canaan. The Africans, it mentions, all these other nations. Moab is going to come out later on as the children of Lot, Moab and Ammon. And then, but as you go down, you'll get to where it says Eber, Arphaxad, Eber, and these are sons of Ham. You go to 20 after their families, after their tongues, because they got a certain kind of tongue. Now, a lot of people got diverse tongues because they learn different languages when they move to another country and they're born into another country. Like in America, they know Spanish and English. A few people know Portugal over here. Some people know like 3 or 4 or 5 languages. But, a lot of times you can, you have some called maybe an African tongue, or, the Arabs, and a lot of that goes back to, more the ancient tongues. But Most High confounded the language at the Tower of Babel. So, but the language used to be all one tongue. It used to be Hebrew. So, and then it says, verse 21, to Shem, which we are Shemites, the father of all the children of Eber, their children, that word come from sons, the brother of Japheth, the elder, even to him were children born. So you have from Shem, you have Elam, which is East Indians, Asher, basically the same. Arphaxad, that's where we come in also, to where it passed down to, Eber and Peleg, which means division, and all the way down, and it'll go all the way down to Terah, which is Abraham's father. And then Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Jacob received the law. So, Ham didn't receive the law, and Japheth didn't receive the law. Shemites, it was other, those, the seed that came, he had seeds, which were Shemites also, but they weren't the chosen people. So you even had Abraham having Ishmael, and Ishmael wasn't he wasn't the chosen line. It came through Isaac, and then Jacob. And Jacob, what did he receive? The laws of the Most High, the very laws that tell us as Israelites what not to eat, what to eat. So definitely, and it also says you're not supposed to eat anything dieth of itself. I didn't want to make this too long. I think I'm going to do a second part because I got to find a different way to upload my videos quicker. Anyway, it's going to be a smaller second part.